Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Fight.4 podcast with your hosts, Max Karabine and Alex Piconia.
You are indeed watching the Fight.4 podcast. I'm Max Karabine. This is Alex Piconia. We are not live today. We're actually recording like 8 hours after the show ended,
Yeah.
the Empire Fight
Basically.
League 2. We're recording before because I'm leaving for Thailand tomorrow and I'm quite excited, Alec. But we still wanted to do the recap of the show because, like you told me, like 15 times since we chatted since yesterday, it was an amazing show yesterday.
Absolutely incredible, man. The atmosphere, the crowd was like unreal. The people too, the staff. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was the first time you met Taylor Weeb from MMA Journal Canada, but such a great guy. Got along with him so well. The whole staff was just so accommodating. The production team behind the video and the audio, they were so great, so professional. You know what I mean? And dude, that's just about the event. I don't want to get too into the fights right away, man.
Mhm.
How did you feel about it? Because like for me, I was like, I'm overstimulated. You know what I mean? You know what I
Man, the venue first of all was pretty badass. Downtown Montreal, sick ass venue, Plaza Centreville. Honestly, couldn't ask for more. Super like a lot of space everywhere for the fighters. A couple of fighters told me like they like it when they have space to train. Actually,
mean? Mhm.
it's not always the case during those amateur show, but this time they had a lot of spaces to train. Just the local where the ring was and the seat and where the action was actually was so beautiful. The lighting was
Lighting, yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
And yeah, last show you told us it was the first time for you to have a production team behind you, and you had some guys in your ears telling you stuff. That went well.
That did go well. This time we had no, like, it was there's gonna be a lot more to that was supposed to go into it. That unfortunately I think is gonna be done in the post production, like for the TV series and stuff like that. Um but it went so smoothly. I didn't All I needed to do was coordinate with the runner, basically Bilal. He's the guy who always goes make sure okay, the fighters are ready. They know that they're coming up. They're queued up at the door, ready to make their walk in. Bilal, he does a lot of the Rumble in the Verdungle, and this is the second time I've done a major show with him, and he handled it so well. But he had the earpiece in, and he was just communicating back and forth, like ready, go, like just basically giving me the this is like go now, stop and whatever else. But the Cassandra at the production team, she did mention that next show she would like to have the in-ear. So that way, no matter what's going on, she could be like, okay, hold it for 2 seconds. Okay, the commentators are quieting down now.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Because that's the only thing I didn't know is when the commentators were talking or not. You know what I mean? And I would have liked it to have not overlapped, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
with the
Yeah.
commentator, or cut them off, you know what I mean? But I was just like rolling with what I had going on. But either which way, the production was phenomenal. And
It really was, man. The show started at 8 p.m. on the dot, and just bro, it just kept going and going, fight after fight. We didn't get much finish yesterday, so a lot of fights went to the distance. But
yes,
I love it, bro. No real intermission except when Justin did his speech, and
yes,
of
exactly.
course he couldn't stop himself from talking.
Yeah,
but but then I thought it was so funny when he spoke for like a couple minutes. He gave a trophy to his friend, and and then he's like, "Okay, I'm almost done," and I knew he wasn't almost done.
no,
And
yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah. Like I looked at my watch that wasn't there. I was just like, oh, okay,
but besides Justin electoral speech, it was a great show, bro, and I loved it when it's fast paced. Production was on point to
yes,
bringing the fighters to getting ready to walk out, and the other ones were getting ready to be in the back, and me, I was more of in the back, and I caught the fighters when after their win or they lost, and I
yeah,
could do interviews with them, so I had kind of a different role from usually commentating,
yeah.
and I liked it, bro, man. It's always fun to see the fighters. I actually it was pretty much the first time I really interacted with the fighters directly after their fights.
Yeah.
And honestly, win or lose, they were all in good spirit. Of course, they all want to win, but
Yeah.
even the loser, I thought they were like all in good spirit, and nobody was really down after their loss. And obviously, the winners were hyped up. So it was a fun night for me too, bro.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you, like, even interviewing some of the guys who didn't get, the W and stuff like that. Like, I'm happy to hear that they're in good spirits. I was literally about to ask you because, it's a big platform to be seen on. You know what I mean? And there was not. I don't think there was any easy fights for anybody last night. You know what I mean? They all went the distance or went like as far as it can go. Like sorry, as far as it can go. Like on Andre Chagnon. We'll get into it afterwards.
Oh my god.
But the guy is tough, man. He didn't want to quit. He didn't want to quit,
Mhm.
but we'll get into that afterwards,
Yeah.
But dude, I'm happy to hear that, man.
Yes.
And was it like something you were nervous to do? Like just like in the like
Oh
post
yeah,
fight
bro.
interviewers, right? It's
Yeah.
something different, bro, right?
Oh,
It's
bro.
instead of being, you're usually like, okay, this happened,
Yeah.
that. Now you're like, bro, what happened? You know what I
Yeah. No,
mean?
of course, commentating is more my jam, but
Yeah.
I got used to it through the night, and at the end, like I'm just staying myself, and like I respect the fighters if they're into like I said, most of them were in good spirit, but there was some times where they need a second to breathe at least. So I was very respectful in that way. And I thought about you too. You remember last show you told me like after a loss you always like to go see the fighters and like send them a message and like, hey, keep your head up and stuff.
Yeah, I
And
do.
I went directly at Nathan Morin after that fight, and I was like, broski, man, you're 19 years old. You're just gonna get better and better.
Yeah.
You're fighting the best of the best, and you're giving every fight that Nathan is in. He's always every time he loses, it's by an inch, and it's
Dude,
always against the best.
but that's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
he's like, iron sharpens iron. You know that the term, like,
yeah, yeah,
he literally, when he reaches some of the ages that the other guys are at. Like, look at Matson. Matson's, I think he's 29, 30 years old.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's an 11-year discrepancy. That's like, imagine where Nathan will be in
Mm-hmm.
11 years.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? This guy will basically be
crazy.
like basically Superman. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
uh
and
huh.
it's insane where he's gonna be. So yeah, he's also, I haven't even reached out to him as yet either. But like, Nathan, like, he shouldn't get discouraged in the least. He's doing things at his age that these guys at their age wish they were doing at that age.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially the guys who start later in life, like I'm, like me and you,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm sure you've had it maybe once or twice where you've gone like, dog, imagine I was doing this at like 17. You know what I mean? Imagine I was doing this at like 18 instead of like finding it all the way later in life.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you're just like, man, I could have, I could have been on one championship. Like, you tell yourself all these crazy fantasies, but the kid is actually living it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like, and I don't mean kid in any which way. Anybody who walks in that ring is a man, even if you're like 10 years old, like the junior class division we had yesterday. Like, you're an adult when you walk in that ring.
Oh yeah, man. And we'll get into it right away, broski.
Yes.
Talking about junior class, there's not much to say about that fight, but man, I want to tell you, I really made two friends yesterday out of Mayali. I think
Miali,
that
yeah.
Miali. That's how she wants to get called.
Yes.
Miali Tremblay, I believe,
Yes, sir. Yes.
and Noemi Rondeau, bro. Those two girls opened the show. It was fun. There's no strikes to the head, so obviously it's kind of a weird fight.
Yeah.
But Noemi Rondeau, man, is quite good. Honestly, the knees and the clinch, she was overwhelming Miali. But
Yeah,
bro,
it was.
she had I think I heard she had like 12 pounds on her. She's a year older. So same
Okay.
as we just said for Nathan Morin, I think for me Ali Tremblay, it's like you're 9 years old and you're already fighting in front of a crowd of like
Wow.
800 people maybe yesterday. I don't know. But
Yeah, that's insane. 9 years old. They just like, wow.
yeah,
Wow,
and
dude.
Noemi, 10 years old, broski. Like I said, I love the knees and the clinch, and she kept putting the pressure on and going
Yeah.
forward, and you could see in her face she had that mean mugging. But what I wanted to say about it's not really about the fight, but it's before the fight, bro, man.
Yes.
Those two girls couldn't get more close. Like they were just hanging
Wasn't
around.
wasn't it adorable? I
Oh,
thought it
bro,
was
I
the
couldn't
sweetest
believe my
thing.
eyes.
You know, and I even asked them, I'm like, I said it in French to Noemi. I'm like, do you have a fighter's name? And she's like, no. And then they look at each other and they're like, well, and then Miali's like, well, if we figure one out, we'll come and tell you, okay? And then the girl's like, yeah, we'll think about it. And then they like ran off, and I was like,
Yeah, bro.
it's so adorable. They're
Oh
so
man,
cute, you know?
crazy. So they were like best friends before the fight, and they no nerves at all. Maybe just a little bit when they started to get dressed and put on the shields and the gloves and the monocle and everything. Now I could sense a little bit of nerve, but
Yeah,
before that, bro, they were just playing around, playing piano. I did some interviews with them. It was just funny, good vibes. I'm like, bro,
big time.
if everybody could be like these two girls and just being friends before the fight and
It's
after, it was something to behold.
It's so sweet. You're right. It's so sweet to see, man. Like I love that attitude. And I think you're right. Once they got the equipment on, they're like, "Oh, like we're going to scrap." You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I think you're right, like reality hit, because even when I was announcing them in the ring, they like I remember looking at Noemi and she's just like,
Bro,
I'm like, "Oh,
can you imagine, bro?
yeah."
10 years old, man, fighting in
Yeah,
front of a big crowd, bro.
yeah. And it's a big crowd, it's like it was a good sized crowd, a huge venue. Like it's huge when you walk in, like the ceilings are so massive. Like I'm tall, right? So I enjoy big
Yeah.
ceilings. I like doing this with my hands and not smacking them, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
gigantic ceilings and everything like that. It was just a beautiful setup. So kudos to those young ladies, man, for really getting in there, for their parents to for allowing them to pursue this, you know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
as a parent, I see it like, a lot of kids, they are crazy, they're rambunctious, they have a lot of energy, and then we put our kid in jujitsu because we see that he's basically Tarzan, he's wild, right? And instead of just kind of trying to mute him or calm
Stop.
down, stop
Yeah.
it, you know what I mean? Or like, yo, go wild, go burn your energy, go
Hmm.
learn something. If you're gonna be wild and rambunctious, at least learn how to defend yourself. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
have to feed their characters. Like sometimes people try and fit their kids into a certain box and force them no, you shouldn't be like that. Sit down and I don't know, read a book. Yes, you can read a book, but if you're full of life and full of energy and you have to move, how some people have to move, like you just got to get out of the house, walk, do something. You know what I mean? Feed that, and it's so nice to see that these little girls have parents who are um encouraging them to do something. Like this is like
Nothing's gonna stop those two girls in life. They're like,
thank you.
we fought, so like they're
Exactly.
not scared of anything, and
No, man.
they will pursue their dreams. And even if it's not fighting, it's gonna be something else. And
Exactly.
but what they accomplished yesterday is something to be proud of. That's for sure.
Huge, huge, huge. Kudos to Mieli and Noemi. They had a
Yeah,
crazy good fight. Great
yeah,
opener.
right on. And then we had two young men. Again, they're boys, but when I called Angel a boy, he looked at me like I was
Yeah,
being an adult. And when you're being an adult when you're a kid, it's bad. So
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
call them young men if you don't mind.
I don't mind. You
But
lost your cool cred with him. Is that what it is? Huh?
yeah,
He's like, yo, bro,
but then I let him kick my leg, so I think I gained
you
back
got
a
it
little
back.
bit
You
of
got the cool point.
respect. Yeah. But I warned you about Angel, man. What did you think of that young guy coming? You knew who Connor Ferguson was, and obviously he's pretty good. He won their first match, but you've never saw Angel in action. And bro, that technique in the first round, eh?
Bro, he was so like he was breaking it down top to bottom, aggressive, and he was relentless. The pressure was just nonstop from Angel. Like he wanted, like if you were to say, "Yo, Connor beat him at the CMTO," and Angel's coming back for revenge, you saw it. Like
Yeah.
you saw it. It was
Hmm.
it was blatantly clear. His volume level was insane. Pop, 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 changing levels on a man. Like he was the gorilla. I love it. Angel
Mm-hmm.
the gorilla Rasiko. I think it's great. It's so fitting. He fought like a real ape. It was up and down and
Yeah.
dude, great. He did great. It was
Oh
such a
yeah,
you
his
know.
boxing is crisp, like his movements. It's like it's, and I chatted with his coaches who were like our age, and they're like, bro, sometimes we spar with him, and we're like, hey, like he's he's
Thank you.
putting a beat on us, and
Yeah.
he's beating up adult, and he's 13 years old. So yeah, the technique is on point. But honestly, I liked what I saw from Ferguson too, because
Of course.
bro, at 12 years old, you're getting overwhelmed by a kid who's like I think it's Connor is older. I'm not sure who's older in between the two,
I'm not sure. I didn't
but
have
they're
to.
12 and 13 years old, so doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, he could have like crumbled under the pressure.
No,
It's a
he
big
did.
stage again, and he's fighting like Angel, who's on top of him, super quick, good
Yeah.
technique. But Connor kept his focus, and honestly, energy kind of went low for Angel in the later rounds, and
Yeah.
Connor had his moments at the end of the fight.
Because Connor had those clean, like like almost like counters. You know what I mean? Your
Yeah,
Angel come ba 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 ba, and then and Connor was like very smooth with ba
yeah,
ba, answering back. Like
yeah.
he didn't just take punishment. You know, it was sorry, sorry
No
about
worries.
that. There was what's it called? I'm so sorry about that, Max.
No worries, broski, man.
It,
Connor's counter punches, man.
on his counter punches, and he kept coming forward. It wasn't like
Yeah.
he just senselessly took the beat down, da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
Like he actually was pressing forward,
Yeah.
moving forward, like he he didn't just like lay back. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there, but
No worries.
Connor was great. Connor has been great. I've seen him fight multiple times, and the fact that he beat him
Mm-hmm.
originally, you know what I mean? Maybe it just wasn't Connor's night, and it was just Angel's night. But
Yeah.
Angel was, bro. He was the aggressor. You know what
And
I
you
mean?
know what the good thing is, man? They have a third match planned for December to really like figure out who wins this
The
rivalry.
dude, this is so cool, man.
Yeah, it's the
These are
youngest
kids.
rivalry in Quebec history, and they're
Yeah,
going to
yeah, yeah.
Quebec City this time in December. So it's gonna be in
At Fire?
Angel's home.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it
he's fighting out of Quebec at Nordic Fight Club, Angel.
okay? Okay.
So they're gonna fight there in December for the third time. So this time the role are gonna be reversed. First time it was like on neutral territory, if you'd like, in CMTO in
Hmm.
Kitchener, Ontario.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yesterday it was in
Our bad.
Connor's backyard, and next time it's gonna be in Angel's backyard. So the experience they're gaining, like, and the control they have, and they showed respect afterwards, because like we said, the two young girls were basically best friends before and after the fight. It wasn't the same thing for the boys before the fight. They were like, they're not friends, they're fighting.
No, no,
And
no, 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 no. Yeah,
yeah,
they were like, "Yo, like,"
yeah.
yeah. And when I walked in too, I met Angel. I asked him what his fight name was and everything like that. And bro, he meant business yesterday. Like he walked in, he's like,
Mhm.
"Stranger," like he was like, like, "What's
Yeah,
up, dog?" I was like,
yeah,
okay, man." Like so like he had that energy with him, and it was great. Connor too. Connor's always great to see live, man. He's a little bit longer. You know what I mean? He has
hmm,
that reach on him and stuff like
yeah.
that. But he sunk his kicks in when his kicks need to be there. They got great shots in, and kudos to both fighters for showing up, man. For real.
Absolutely, man. No, like you said at the beginning of the breakdown of this fight, you knew Angel was coming for revenge, and you can sense it. And we can just wish them like good luck and have fun, and do great things in the third match. And it's honestly like at this age, having like a trilogy against someone else, like they're gonna be badasses in the future. That's for sure.
I think it's so cool, man, and especially like this. Who knows? Like maybe they take some time apart from fighting each other. You know what I mean? And maybe
After, yeah,
maybe they stick with it up until high school's done. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Maybe they actually hit the legal age of being a man. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And they, for some reason, end up meeting each other once again. You never know. The
Yeah,
life is crazy. They can end up meeting each other down the road at Glory Kickboxing, one championship. Who knows?
yeah.
You know what I mean? You never know.
Future champions.
Future champions divisions for sure.
And then we had Tia Todorovic
Yeah.
who put on an amazing show once again against Ironside. I
Yes.
couldn't saw the beginning of the fight because I was doing interviews with Angel and Connor in the back. But I
Mhm.
saw the second round when Tia dropped Ironside. I forgot her first name.
Yeah, that knee. Yeah, Kayla Ironside.
Kayla is a gamer. I couldn't believe she stood up after that knee because Tia's knee are money, honestly, and she's so
Bro,
good. She stays calm all the time. She never looks nervous. Even her before, during, and after the fight, she's always on the same like emotionless almost like.
she's always so sweet. I'm always just like, hey Taya, and she's just like, hi, like really like, hi, how are you? Like you're just like really nice, and she doesn't seem like she's being bothered. And you, dude, you're right. That knee, because I was sitting right in back of
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
WKFQ, the World Kickboxing Federation.
Yeah, yeah.
I was right
It
behind them,
was on your side of the ring.
and it was on my side of the ring, and like you saw her pull it in, like and rip the knee upwards, and
Her technique is on point.
but you literally saw it go, like you saw her
Yeah.
Kayla's body like go up, like she got the shot, and even my wife turned to me, she goes, "Ooh, that was." I'm like, it
Yeah.
was, and look, we've all been there in sparring. We've
There's
all
nothing
gotten
worse.
a liver kick, liver punch, liver something, and we all know how much that sucks.
But a knee, bro, that's like the worst.
I
And
know.
Tia, like you said, it's like a spear. It's like bam, right to the body.
Yeah,
And then I thought it was over. I thought it was over. But Kayla, good to her. She stood up and she finished the fight. But I love it because right away, there were like 20 seconds left to the round,
yeah,
and Tia was going right back to the body. She wanted to finish the fight.
yeah.
And
She came in heavy after that,
and
right?
that's good on such a young fighter, 17 years old,
Yeah.
sensing like, okay, I just hurt to the body. Now I'm gonna go back to the body. It's like it's so good fight IQ. I was very impressed by her.
Yeah, dude, and you know what? She hangs with like the big kids in at Angry Monkey when
I'm
she's
not
like really
surprised.
sparring, and she, I don't think she's in the she was ever in the junior class. I think she was always in the adult class, and she's in the higher levels, and it's she's somebody that, like, I don't know what it is. She's adapted so well. Like I don't know if you notice. I'm gonna bring up Jared real quick. Not that we'll touch on that later, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the way he throws his knees and everything like that, you see how like they come up very like sharp. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And Taya has that really that tight knee like as well. I'm trying to make the knee with my elbow. You know what I mean? but she has that tight knee. You know what I mean? Like how it
Mhm.
really like you get the foot really close to the thigh, to the you know what I mean, and you really have that dagger that digs in.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it gives
She
that really,
pushes with the hips,
yeah, exactly, really digs in there. You know what I mean? And well,
and she hurt Ironside, but Ironside was able to finish the fight, I believe, if I'm
big
not
time. Yeah, she
mistaken.
finished it, and like
Yeah.
she showed up, man. Like
Mhm.
Kayla, like, look, you don't travel, you don't take a plane.
From Calgary,
Yeah,
G.
to bullshit ending, you know what I mean? So she
Yeah.
came to scrap. She's like, "Yeah, okay, I'm hurt, but I'm gonna stand back up. I'm
Mhm.
not at home. Yeah, like I'm in enemy territory, and I'm gonna continue to push through." And her coaches were cheering her on, pushing
Yeah.
her through. Like, kudos to their team, really good team. And man, it was a spectacular event. It really was. Good. Kudos to Tia for her
Oh,
win.
yeah.
You
She's
know what I
gonna
mean?
be so good, bro.
Bro, just imagine her too in a couple of years. She just
Mhm.
turned 16. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna keep going and going. When she reaches the adult level, she's gonna be ready for A class off the bat. She keeps this up, because I think all of this goes to even if it's on the junior record,
Mhm.
I think it adds up to the WKFQ standards of, like,
Yeah.
I think it's 0 to 4 or 0 to 5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
C, and then after 10 it's A. So I think it all adds up. So by the time they're ready to uh they turn 18 or whatever, they're
Mhm.
ready to scrap at A class. You know what I mean? No
And
requirement.
there's always exception. Like if they just like at school, if you're too good, you're gonna like go up a year. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe you don't have your 4 fights, but we can put you in there with C class fighter. You're going to B class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's just like a little push, but man, all of these fighters, man, on their way up, they're something else. They're really something else. This
The
this was and it was a perfect way to clear the preliminary card. as
Oh,
well. You know what I mean?
absolutely. No,
So
the juniors were sick yesterday, and like we said, like we talked about at last show, they had like the pressure to start the event, and it was a big show, and
yeah,
they sure delivered.
yeah, big time delivered. And yeah, man, and you're right. It's true. It's such a intense pressure because even for me as an announcer, I find the most difficult part of the show is like that intro. You know what I mean? If the intro is off, I'm gonna be like, oh, I suck for the rest of the night. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But if I nail that intro and like my wife is like, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? So I can only imagine it's the same thing for the kids too. You know what I mean? Like, so man, congratulations to all the fighters who opened up the night last night.
hmm
You know, you
So
deserve all the credit.
absolutely. Then we had the first A class bout of the evening from Winnipeg. McGew faced don't remember his first name, but it's Fernandez from
Isaiah, yeah,
Isaiah Fernandez from Toronto. And
yes, sir.
again, since I was doing like back and forth in the back to the front, I didn't catch the first round. But once I got there for the second round, bro, I saw they were fighting, bro. Skinny. They really had like, from what I saw, they kind of had the same style. Um, I feel like Magyu had a little bit of more of a volume, but
Yes.
Fernandez every time he hit, it was like powerful, and it was like scoring, and he won the fight. So I'm pretty sure like he did a little more than Magyu, but
Excuse me.
good on those boys, man, because fighting again from Winnipeg and Toronto, fighting in Montreal, you're not in your comfort zone.
No, at
You're
all.
fighting A class, no shin pad, bro. It's tough, and they really put on a show, man.
Yeah, dude, honestly, and it's great too because I believe Isaiah right now, because of that win, let me just check my card. Yeah, see, it's in the 125-pound division, and the winner of this one was going on to fight the winner of the championship 125. So we're gonna see Isaiah fighting Jared Allen at the
hmm
next Empire event. I don't know if it's gonna be the next Empire event or the following Empire 4, because I think Justin and David, they want to do 2 big shows per year and really
Yeah.
like do it. You know what I mean? So um basically, what was I saying? It was a great match. Like you said, it was volume versus a little bit more power and like technical. You know what I mean? Because Isaiah was very smart, intuitive. You know, like he would shell up at the right moment, ba ba ba, and then whapa, like come back with a power
hmm
shot. You know what I mean? Very, which obviously took its toll on Mac. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, Mac, and it got him the victory in the ending. You know what I mean? I think they were both 125, but Mac looked like a lighter 125. It makes
No, you're
sense.
right. Yeah.
And I think maybe that could have been a defining factor. Yes, he was fast. Yes, he had volume, but was it strong enough to put Isaiah away? It was not. Isaiah looked clean. He looked sharp. Even after his fight, he looked beautiful. He looked very handsome. You know what I mean? Like he didn't
Yeah.
look all bunged up or anything like that. Mind you, none of the fighters necessarily. Actually, the heavyweights. Never mind. The heavyweights looked pretty. Both of them looked
That was a war.
rough after their fight. But like we said, it was maybe he was a little light on the feet, and shelling out a lot of volume too is exhausting,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Right. So once you're shelling that out consistently, maybe that's it. It burnt him, and then when you're just receiving boom and like boom, like power shots,
hmm
it's like how it is.
And
Like
non-stop moving to like always getting out of the way of like we saw a lot of those a lot of that in the matchups yesterday. You had one guy was like more steady on his feet and like planted on the canvas, and you had one other guy was
dancing
like
around.
yeah, exactly. And it's
Mhm.
always like more tough on the cardio when you're moving around and throwing kicks, and like if you're steady and you're just like on your place and you don't do like a lot of movements, you're gonna be able to do the 3 rounds. They
Yeah,
were like Mac was pretty good. Honestly, from what I saw, I didn't know who won the fight.
yeah,
It was very tight. It was very very close. So good on those two mans that I wish we were gonna see again for sure.
yeah. Well, I think it was the only split decision of the night. I
Was it? Yeah.
I think there was a sponge throw. Somebody did quit. I think there was the stoppage at one point. maybe one or two stop. I don't know if there was another TKO. I think there was only one TKO, referee stoppage, and then but that was the only split decision. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it was like literally like people did not know who won because when I was like, yeah, and they called it for the blue corner, and then everyone was just like, and then I'm like, and then the red corner because when it's unanimous, I won't call um 30-27 red, 30-27
Mm-hmm.
red, 30-27 red. It just makes you feel like shit. You know what I mean? All the like, come on, it is like red corner one, and red corner one.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
fuck, you know what I mean? It's better to like announce all the scores, and then at the ending, you're like, and it was all for the red corner. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when it's a split, oh, bro, I actually really love it because I really I try and get the crowd involved there, and then
Yeah.
the fighters get really hyped up because they're like, "Yo, say it, bro!" You know, like, so, so it was the only split decision of the night. So that's how close that fight was. Like these guys came to bring it, and because it was a split, you know, it was fireworks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a split decision, and it was
Good matchmaking too, like fair
yeah,
matchup.
big time, beautiful, and two out of towners, man, and they
Yeah.
showed up for us. So you know.
Yeah, G. And then we had first championship bout of the evening for the 156 Empire Fight League belt. My man Burkic, who beat up Max Levi, bro, man. First round finish. Max Levi quit on the stool after the first round. I believe he hurt his foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Burkic and his crew of Eastern European, bro, they're
Uh, the
they're
Bosnian
scary,
bullet,
man.
bro. The Bosnian bullet. When I'm like, yo, what's your fighter nickname? He goes, the Bosnian bullet, and he like looked at me like, like he said it was,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's
he
like
was
Bosnian
meaning
bullet, bro.
business.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard his shots, cause like from where I was sitting, I heard everything, and then at one point he landed a straight right,
Yeah,
like
he
right by the
dropped Levi a couple times.
yeah, but you heard the like the
The
it's I'm
thud.
not doing it justice, but because it's a skin, but like the foom, you know what I mean? You heard the foom, and like people were like, even the like I saw some WKFQ guys go, oh, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Because it it was like bam, like he came in hard, and it sucks because for me that first round was like obviously a clear domination, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to say that against Max. For Burkic killed it, but I was really interested in seeing the return in the second round. Like, how you gonna come
Yeah.
back from that? You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
because usually that's what Max does. Like he gets maybe a little beat up in the first round, but it just builds and builds and builds. But
Yeah,
yesterday wasn't his night. Hurt his foot quickly,
fuck, man.
and Burkic is your champ, man, and that's
Yeah,
another guy that I'd love to see again. And bro, he scared me yesterday. But there, I saw two sides of him because Max Levi he took a little time before he got to the venue. He got there late, Max, and Burkic come at me and he's like, "Hey, you train at Tai Lung?" Because he probably watched our podcast.
yeah,
And he's like, "Is your guy Max here?" And I'm like he was
business, bro.
he sounded mad that Max wasn't there, and I understand like you're warming up. You're like, "Hey, I want to see my opponent. I want to see who I'm facing."
Yeah, feel him out a bit and
And
stuff.
I'm like, "Oh, bro, I don't know. I don't work for Tai Lung tonight." And
Yeah.
then and I was scared, broski. And then I see him like 15 minutes later, and I'm like, "Is the guy here?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's there." And I see Max warming up and I'm like, "Thank God,
Oh,
broski."
yeah.
But then after his win, he was so happy when he won. When Max quit on the stool, like I said, I think he hurt his foot because I was seeing him like, but Berg. I don't want to take anything away from Burkic. This guy
Yeah,
is a monster.
yeah,
I knew who Max Levi was, and I know how good he is. And Burkic like just went ham on him.
he
And
did.
yeah, you remember when they announced like the fight is over, Burkic was so happy, jumped on the ropes, and like look at his crowds. All his friends were there, crazy motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, he looked like from like concrete face to like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like big
exactly.
change,
And
awesome.
then he stayed to watch Calvin Dawson in the main event because I believe they're teammates. And now he was just happy Burkic. And he was just sitting behind me. And during the main event, he tapped on my shoulder and he's like, "Hey, bro, can I be on your podcast?" And I'm like, You sure can, broski.
Fucking anytime, dog. You know,
Can.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he was good vibes. So I really saw the two sides of him, the mean Bosnian bullet, and then the cool guy. So no,
Yeah,
good on Burkic, bro. And honestly, I want to see. He's gonna defend that 156 belts, and we have a couple guys in Quebec that we can put against him, but he's gonna be a problem.
yeah. I think. Wait, doesn't Omar fight at 155?
Yeah, I just thought of him. Yeah, he's that would be a crazy fight, bro.
By the way, shout out to Omar, the lone wolf Karaki, because he was
Yeah.
there last night.
Oh
And
yeah.
he was messaging me this morning saying that he would love to be on the April 4th.
Oh my god, bro! I want to see that
Alright.
fight, man.
Oh, you kidding me? Anytime Omar fights, it's great. But Burkic is an animal, like the Bosnian bullet. You know what kind of bullet he is? You ever play Super Mario when you're like this small and the bullet's coming at you and it's like gigantic? That's
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
bullet he is. The one with the boxing gloves on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's just absolutely dominant, and fuck, I can't wait to see him back here or on any other stage he's going to be performing on. You
Yeah,
know?
and hopefully Max Levi's injury is nothing too intense.
Yeah, let's honestly. C'est dommage que I don't. Whoa! Whoa! It sucks. You know, I got French Tourette's. For a
You
second.
turned French on me right quick.
I know,
bro.
yo, my bad. You know, but it sucks that he got it, that it ended early, and like you said, let's wish him a speedy recovery and hope to see him to the return
Yeah.
soon.
Oh yeah, I
You
think
know?
he's a contender. He can one or two win away, and he can get a rematch because it ended like not controversial, but like we would have loved to see more. So eventually, maybe we're gonna get a rematch down the line.
Well, especially the fact that it's a um title fight. It's 5 rounds.
Yeah.
We got to see 1 round of him.
Yeah.
Like this guy's been training for how long for this fight?
Yeah, I know Max. You wanted to show more. That's for sure.
But see, that's the thing. And I wanted to see more. The crowd
Mhm.
wanted to see more. Shout out to Burkic for his beautiful win, but we still I still like to see the fighters performing because this is a work in progress. This is on their way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it would have been good to see more of Max.
But then, bro, you know what's next? It's Nathan Morin versus Matson Leon, bro, for the 147 strap. And we touched on it a little bit at the beginning. We said Nathan gave L to Matson, and I did the interview with Matson after, and Matson looked a little beat up, honestly. Like, obviously, he just fought Omar Karaki like 3 weeks ago, and then he's in another 5-round war against Nathan Morin. So, bro, I don't know what Matson is made of, but clearly he's half human, half something else.
Bro,
Because Nathan hit him with some good kicks to the dome, like the head kicks, bro.
those head kicks.
Spamming head kicks, and Matson just took it and eat it and threw punches back, bro. And I couldn't stop thinking about what we said like on the last show when that fight was going on. And I texted John DiBella. I'm like, bro, this is gonna be a banger. I talked to the guy from MMA Journal Canada. I'm like, bro, this is gonna be a banger. And like, we couldn't ask for more from these two. And like, we put a little bit of pressure on them with like the social media stuff and like, yo, this is our fight of the night. And bro, like, if not for the heavyweights, this is fight of the night, bro.
Yo, right? Because
it was crazy.
Even Matson came up to me. He's like, "Yo, you know, you guys put some pressure on me at the podcast, you know." I'm like, "Yo, sorry, dog, but shout out to the triple champ Matson, the Black Lion Leon, bro, triple champ. Congratulations, he worked hard this year. He's earned all of it,
and he's not done. He told me, man.
Which is wild to me.
There's one more in the bank.
Yeah,
Matson this year. Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but you might see him at l'Olympia. That's all I'll say.
I would love to. He's so active this year, man. I believe he went to Thailand this year. He's been everywhere, and like, dude, there's a couple of those spinning back kicks that Nathan landed, and like, Matson would catch the majority of it, but then the heel would clock him in the back of the head. Obviously, it's unintentional, so it's because of the way that the kick is, but it's not a back of the head shot because they're facing each other. You know what I mean? Part of the rules and regulations.
Yeah.
So, but he ate like 3 of those. You know, like he ate like when he got hit, and like you literally heard the crowd go, "Oh!" You know, like because people were like, "Oh!" Like like it was shocking to see. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
I believe Nathan even dropped him at some point.
I think it's a
It might have been like
possibility.
a half slip, half
No,
drop,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
you
but
saw Madsen like you never see Madsen in that kind of
no,
situation.
because he's so like
Yeah,
he's so
he's one
tall.
of them.
You know, he's like
Feet are always under him. He's
yeah,
like he's there, and there's nothing is gonna take him away. But bro, Nathan Morin, Spider Man, the what's his name, the showman
the showman. Yeah, the
with his thing.
showman.
He's
You know,
always
yeah,
like that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think yeah, I love it, bro.
crazy fight, bro. 5 rounds, and of course, like we're talking about the Nathan's attack on Matson, and Matson just kept eating and eating. But
And
bro,
pushing forward. And the thing is, it was beautiful combinations. It was never like a boring fight. I was talking to the referee, Greg Mellan from Apex. He's also a
yeah,
fighter. Last couple of fights I've seen him in, he got two straight knockouts, like one
mm-hmm,
knockout, then the next show was another knockout. So
yeah,
Greg is an amazing fighter. Shout out to Greg in Apex Martial Arts. But he was telling me, he's like, dude, all I had to do was walk around. All I had to do was
yeah,
just walk around. He's like,
non-stop.
I didn't interrupt nothing. He's
Mm-hmm,
and he's like, it was so good and so clean that he had no work to do. He was like, it was like almost the easiest fight. He's like, it was so intense. He's like, I was like, in and out. But he's
mm-hmm,
like, I literally just was circling them like a shark
yeah,
because my wife and I were saying it, martial arts, this put the art in martial arts. It was
absolutely.
so beautiful to see because it was like bah, 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 like it was
Yeah.
they were both so crisp. The spinning back kicks, the spinning head kicks that
Mm-hmm.
he landed, the spinning back kicks that he landed on Matson, like those hurt. The torque and the velocity of the
Mm-hmm.
spin fucking hurt. Excuse my language. And Matson was like, like knife to the gut and just like, okay, like I'm back.
It's
Like
on.
it's on, and they were both like, shout out to Nathan, bro. He brings it every single time. He's
Mm-hmm.
such an entertaining fighter, But the thing is, too, they both have a similar voluminous style.
Yeah.
Like Nathan has that karate volume, and like Matson has just got that boxing volume, and
Wow.
it made for such a beautiful fight because they were literally like they were picking and choosing. They weren't just like, I'm gonna throw at you and hope I hit
Mm-hmm.
something. They were like slipping and bah and then counter punching and then this and that. And it was such a beautiful display of violence. It's the way
Yeah.
that like fights should go. This
Mm-hmm.
after what he did with Omar, like he's lined up for like second fight of the year because of like
Yes.
and the thing is too, like you can't even like discredit anybody from this conversation because Omar is next level amazing. Nathan is next level amazing, and these guys they're all young. You know what I mean?
But
And
what about Madsen beating both of them in a span of like 3 weeks and like
it's crazy in under 20 days. In
yeah.
under 20
Yeah,
days,
not yeah, you're right.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like because it was on the 5th and then it was on the 25th.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah. 10 rounds in 20 days against two of the best, and Madsen is on top, bro. Nothing is gonna stop him this year. The
no,
boxing, like you said, the uppercuts, and like he really beat up Nata in the first 2 rounds. And like, and one thing that really impressed me, like it's funny because Madsen is like, we can say anything wrong about Madsen, but we just keep talking about Nathan because Nathan is like is crazy,
yeah, because
and
and I
he's
don't
19 years old.
and that's the thing is like is I want to if he hears this I want him to feel positive
Oh
about his
yeah,
and
bro.
positive about where he's heading to, you know what I mean? Like this is shit that people were not doing at his age,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? He's competing with the
Oh
best.
yeah, the
He's
absolute
competing with
best.
the best, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who have maybe more years of experience on him because it's 2 years he's been in the game. Maybe some of these guys started when they were 20, you know what I mean? And now they're
Mm-hmm.
23. That's an extra year over him. Yes, he's been doing karate all of his life and he's
Yeah.
got beautiful technique and beautiful style, but competition is different. You know what I mean? Like once you're in competition, kickboxing, K1, Muay Thai, it's different from even, regular karate sparring.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So he's adjusting very, very well. And, look, there's guys like Anis who's, I guess I think he's going pro in France right now or something like that.
No, it's amateur. It's MMA amateur still.
Okay. But either which way, like, It's overseas, dog. Like he's doing bits and he's a karate guy, you know, like so Nathan has nothing to be worried about. Look at Wonder Boy, look at all of these guys, all these karate guys, Yuri Prohaska, you know what I mean? And no one's doing it at the age that Nathan is doing it. You know what I mean? The only one I know who's doing it at 19 years old was the style bender, and look where he ended up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Oh no, bro. And one thing that really like took my attention yesterday, obviously you just said it, they're from a karate background, and I could hear Nathan's coach, which is his father, Dom Morin, call him karate kicks, but with the like irigami shamika during the fight. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
like I hear him screaming, and then Nathan kicks like whatever that means, like head kick or spinning back kick, and I get Sumika Tepata. And then you just got Nathan pop pop pop, and like I was like,
I,
what is going on? Like it
I
really felt
love
like we
it.
were in the real kumite, like the real like blood sport, like
Yeah.
because yeah, obviously we're gonna get to it. The heavyweight fight was crazy, but
Nuts.
technically speaking, there's nothing like that's the highest level we can get. And like, good
Mhm.
on Matson again. He's again a champion this year. He's so
Yeah,
good.
so good.
He just keeps getting better and better and better. And his boxing is crazy. And he eats kicks, and it like yeah, like you said, the kicks to the body, bro. And not one time he seems hurt. Like, but those kicks are fucking
Massive.
crazy,
You
bro.
know, like he's got one of the best poker faces. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
Like
No, no,
he
yeah,
gets hit and he's just like his face just doesn't change.
yeah.
You know,
No,
like you're just like okay, and you know he always got his little bounce, and
yeah.
he's got his
Uh,
like I call it his pillars, bro. These are like pillars because Matson always has his like you know he
yeah,
has his nice high guard always. You know,
yeah.
so I,
That fight did not disappoint, bro. So again, good on Matson Leon and Nathan Morin. Merci les boys.
yeah, thank you very much, gentlemen,
Thanks for everything.
for that
And what
beautiful
about?
display.
Sorry, say that
I
again.
was saying for that beautiful display. That's
Oh no, no, no. That was. I think that was my fight of the night. Even though this fight between that's Wally Rodriguez,
yes, Wally the
bro.
Bad Hombre Rodriguez versus Andre the Viking Chagnon.
Oh, that too was like a scene out of a movie, man. That fucking fight, bro.
Insane, bro. First of all, when I saw Andre, like I saw him, I met him. He's like a quiet, nice guy. You know what I mean? He seemed like I'm like, yo, so what's your fighter nickname? He gave me his team name and everything. So and then I see him with his shirt off, walking to the ring, and like, yes, he's a big guy, but his traps are like massive. His shoulders are like, you know what I mean? Like his even
He's
his
a
belly.
man.
Bro, he's a but his belly, like, bro, okay, like there's heavier, like bigger guys and stuff like that, but his stomach looked like a muscle. Like it looked like a big a muscle. You know what I mean? And then
One big hab.
yeah, and Wally was like, "Yeah, look at me, I'm like a muffin." That's what he told me. He's like, "I'm a muffin." But when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this guy is he's scary looking. He's actually scary looking." And when
Looks like a Viking.
he looks like a Viking, and when
Yeah.
you heard these guys land punches, Jesus Christ, it was like boom, boom, and everyone's like, "Oh, oh,"
Yeah. On the last show, I said Chagnon was fighting from New Brunswick, but I just thought that because I knew he was not fighting from Montreal, and I think he has a funny accent. So I'm like, oh, he's probably from New Brunswick, but he's from Victoriaville, and he's fighting out of Légion, which is like Team Légion is like it's been on the map since like the late '90s. Like
Oh, really?
it's like old school. Like we beat the shit out of each other gym,
Okay.
and we saw it yesterday because
Yeah.
Chagnon took a fucking beating. And honestly, I couldn't like it. The fight did not go the distance, but it went like as far as it could. And
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that after the second round, after the third round, I'm like, when is it gonna end, bro? And Wally is because obviously Wally dominated the fight, and like
It was
Wally is crazy, bro, man. This
Yeah.
guy is.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe Chagnon was there, and he took so much of a beating that Wally was exhausted, and at some point I'm like, shit, Chagnon might win this
Just
thing,
off
bro.
of just off of them being exhausted, yeah, just off of that. And I
Yeah.
agree with you completely. Like Wally was Wally is great. He studies a lot of boxing. I know his girlfriend's is a boxing coach and stuff like that, and they've been together forever. So he's got hands, and I don't know if you noticed. I'm not gonna say how he does it, but he lays a lot of traps and baits his opponent consistently
Yeah,
into
yeah.
making certain strikes, and then he just like bop.
Mm-hmm,
You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? And he does it a lot. He does it a lot, and
Yeah, he's like, hit me, hit me, hit me, and then he's swerve and bam.
and he's remember when I said he's like a big cat? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's quick enough to bait people and
Yeah.
get everything out. And then he fights like it was like almost like he was fighting diagonally at some point, just like bop, 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 and he was like using it to turn and everything like that. It was like the check hooks and stuff like that. It's like he was
Mm-hmm.
like living off the check hook.
Yeah.
It was a dominant performance.
Oh,
And then he even told me too he stopped kicking because he hurt his leg.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. I saw him after the fight. His shin was like
Messed up.
blue, green, yellow, red.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
But
goodness.
imagine Chagnon, bro. I think Wally dropped him in the third, I believe, and like
I believe so.
it took everything for Chagnon to stand up. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna get done, and the crowd got behind it, and it was fucking nuts, bro.
I
It was crazy.
the because that's what I was trying to tell everybody at the beginning. I'm like, yo, like, but people were cheering for everybody else. So I think most people missed this little speech. I was like, the best are always synonymous with the world, the heaviest, biggest guys, Muhammad Ali to Mike Tyson to John Jones to Francis Ngannou. It's the heavyweights, baby. It's the fucking power. This is where they come with the bombs and the you hear the shots and they're big boys. So when they fall, you hear the boom. You know what I mean? The whole thing comes down, bro.
Yeah.
And like, it was just nonstop. And bro, it was just pure, like you said, pure punishment for Chagnon at some point, and I couldn't believe that like this guy was still walking. Like he wouldn't, bro. He was just coming forward. He didn't care. Like he would go, then he would make his little turn around. He would get around the ring, and then he would like ba ba, and then just kind of like just try and come forward as much as he could. And then Wally like push him off the shoulder, bam. You know what I mean? Like that's close, like push and like he did a lot of lining up, like the lineups, and he was really trying to take his head off. You know what I mean? At some point, so.
And in the fifth round, finally, the ref was like, "Okay, that's enough." Because, like I said, Team Légion are like gangsters, old school fighters.
Okay.
Throwing the towels, it doesn't exist to them.
Yeah,
and Chagnon, he's a Viking, so he's the type of guy who dies on his shield. That's what you say.
Yeah, dying.
So the ref was like, "No, we're done, guys."
yeah. He's like, bro, because I truly believe Chagnon, if you would have knocked him down 10 times, he would have gotten up 11.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he would nonstop. So thank God for the ref. I forget which referee it was. I don't know if it was, I think it might have been Ellie Goldberg. Who put a stop to that one, but god damn, what a huge fight. You know what I mean? Like literally huge. Powerful. And did you hear when I was doing Wally's announcements, bro? I couldn't even hear myself. There was a couple of people last night where when I'm announcing them, bro, I went deaf because of how loud the crowd got. You know what I mean?
Oh, the crowd was great yesterday, man.
From start to finish. The crowd, like when I did the opening and stuff like that, and I heard like I'm like, this is Empire, and then I just heard when I finished like my announcement, I just heard like it was like somebody just put the volume on, like the TV was on mute, and then you just click the volume on it, but I was on 100% in the background the whole time, so it just goes bah like that. It was literally like I got like a big smile on my face. I'm like, oh, yeah. You know what I mean? So the pop for Wally was absolutely wild, and also the crowd was cool too because. For the out-of-towners, they still made a lot of noise.
Yeah. No, the crowd was great. I was in the crowd actually, so I could like hear them and everything. And even though they didn't know the fighters, they make sure that they knew like their names because they could see it on the boards and know. And I could hear them like, okay, this round we're gonna cheer for Miali, even though they have nothing to do with them. Like
that's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. That was good. And unfortunately for the ladies, I think. The crowd went a little silent after the heavyweights because, bro, Like
Eh,
it was just crazy. So
the-
it went a little bit quiet for the ladies, unfortunately, but it went up right back for the main event.
yes, yeah,
Honestly.
because after that it was they had the Benito fight, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's Benito after. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then yeah, because they went. Oh, but you're right though, because I felt for like the next two, the crowd was like a little bit like, but bro,
Yeah.
it must be exhausting too. How loud they were. I scream in the mic every couple of minutes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're screaming all night long. You know what I mean?
And you
And
had back to back, bro. Matson Leon, Nathan Morin, then the heavyweights. It was like
they could have ended the night like that.
35 to 40 minutes of like complete madness. So like
Yes,
we can't
yes.
be mad at the crowd for that. Unfortunately for Benito
Screw it.
Pisanelli, Moise Lisala is a straight killer from Africa. This guy is like he's ready. Like I watched the fight a little bit with Justin, and I'm like, Benito is chewing a little bit more than what he could, but
Mhm.
Benito is so like he's a gangster, Benito. So
So
even though his opponent is like a level above him, it's like he just stayed in there. He ate the punches at first, but Moise, you can sense that Moise was like a level or two above Benito, and it was Benito's first A class fight. The guy started fighting 2 years ago, and he's fighting a killer
yeah.
like Moise Lisala. So Benito is just gonna get better and better. But the
Mhm.
champ Moise Lisala is bro. It was beautiful to see, honestly, striking as good as it gets.
100%. He's a very long fighter too. At 178, he's got that long body. I think he was only just a couple of inches shorter than me when I was talking to him. But like you said, Benito, his first A class fight. He goes to an amazing gym, Silvertooth Gym. Got great coaches behind him, and I know he's even like he trains with like a bunch of other guys too. So he's got a great like group of people behind him, and like first of all, it was a new fight league for him. He's never been on Empire before. It was a different venue, different place, and first A class for a belt. You know what I mean? It's not just your first A class, dog.
There's a lot
First
of firsts for him yesterday.
yeah, exactly. And he it's his first A class. Like I feel like yes, like I was waiting for him to just open up the way we know Benito can. You know what I mean? I was waiting for the moment. Maybe Lisala was just too slick with what he was
Mm-hmm.
doing for Benito to feel comfortable enough to open it up.
Yeah,
But
and
I even saw the discrepancy between their legs. Like Lisala's leg looks like it could have been Benito's bones from how nice and thick Benito's legs are. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
muscular wise, because he has these big horse legs that if he really would rip those leg and body shots, he would do so much damage. You know what I mean? Because they're so thick,
Yeah.
But the thing is
Uh,
with Lisala, bro, is is he came with the entire persona. Okay.
yeah.
Like when his walkout, he had the African music,
Yeah.
he had the mask on, he had the fur
Yeah.
here, the fur on his legs, and he's walking out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He came with that. Yo, I'm actually getting chills right now. Like because I love mystique, I love
Yeah.
showmanship. You know what I mean? And he came out with uh that Alex Pereira energy, dog. You know what I mean? He just came, duh, 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 and then
Mm-hmm.
the stomp and the
Yeah.
he continues his walk to the ring and he gets all his stuff off. He takes off the Hannibal Lecter mask, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he comes out with like he has presence, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like his presence was felt, and just that in itself, man, it's a fucking. I think to me, it's like a mental game. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
playing like some kind of like you brought like okay, this it's speculations around African is there's voodoo, there's
Mm-hmm.
magic, you know what I mean? And he came with that aura. Like, did he just curse Benito right now? So his hand, like you don't know what kind of Shaka Zulu stuff he's doing,
Yeah.
right? So it really came off as like force. You when he showed up, you
Mm-hmm.
felt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. I felt I actually filmed his walkout. So if you want to see, go on my Instagram. That was crazy. And the thing
Right?
is, that's all good, and we love that. But you have to match it in the ring. And bro, did he match that?
You matched
And
it.
you're talking about the legs and stuff, and obviously, like Benito, we know he has three trunk for legs,
Yeah, he
but
does.
that's the first fight. It's like it was the fifth A class fight of the evening, but that's the first time that I started to like do you call that wincing? Is that
Yeah,
a
like you wins. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
I was like,
wins. You're,
bro, I was so scared for their legs to break because they were throwing kicks full power, but they checked the kick.
dude, but that's one thing too. Benito was checking like a motherfucker.
Oh,
He gets that, dude. He gets that defensive leg up so
yeah.
fast. It's beautiful. It's like,
Oh man,
you know,
like you say, he's coming from Sidao Sawan with Phil in his corners, and he's learning so fast. Like you and I have been sparring for like 4 or 5 years, and I'm not doing that in training.
no, 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 no.
Benito has been fighting for around the same amount of time, and he's just like lifting his leg every time. But so was Moise, bro. So I think that's one of the reason Benito didn't really threw a lot of kicks. Is bro, it fucking hurts, man, when the guy checks those kicks, bro. It's
It
every
does.
time I'm like, oh my god, that hurts so much. And you can see Moise when he checked Benito's kick. You can see like he's looking at Benito. He's like, I know that hurts.
I know that,
Just
yeah,
like,
because he's a bony ass dude. You know what
oh,
I mean? He's
bro,
bony, bro. So like Benito at least has some meat around his shin.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So like if he checks, maybe you're kicking the meat. But
yeah,
Lisala is just pure like
full bone.
pointy bone, bro. You know what I mean? So like it was he was it for sure hurt. And it being his first A class, he was probably like the fuck.
Aye, aye.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right, but man, as much as we praise Nathan, we can do the same for Benito because Benito is quite young too. He's
Yeah.
23. But bro, Moise is 22. Like Moise is fucking young too, bro, man.
Yeah, exactly. They're like the same age. I think I noticed that yesterday on the punk out on the
Yeah,
screen and everything like that. That they're the same age, and I'm just like,
very young.
yeah, but great matchups last night because
Oh
everybody
man.
was like, I think even I think more or less everybody was like kind of in the same age group.
Because Benito, yes, he lost, bro, but he can be so proud of him because he stood the whole fight, and like at the end, he was there in the middle of the ring. He knew he lost, bro, but he's like, hey, I took that fight, bro, against a killer, and he was not like experience wise. Moise has fought in MMA. He has like maybe 4 or 5 fights more than Benito, and Benito was in there with him the whole time.
Yeah,
And the game plan from Moise was so beautiful because at first it was very tight, like it was close. We could sense that Moise was maybe a little bit more technical and not, I don't want to say better than Benito, but just on another level.
yeah,
But then like it feels like Moise put his foot on the gas, and like he really started to
yes,
lit up Benito in the fourth
yeah.
and in the fifth round. And
Mhm.
like Benito took some front kick to the dome, and like the body hooks too from Moise. Like we can hear the body hooks
Doof,
in the
doof.
in the arena.
Yeah.
And bro, Benito didn't went down once, bro.
No,
It's like,
I know. Well, also what I love about Benito too is he didn't let himself get stuck. Like there was not a point where you just see him like eating
mm-hmm.
punishment on the ropes. Whenever he was like on the ropes and it was like pop pop pop, you would see him pop leg kick and he would switch directions and he would turn it on him right away. He would really like not let himself be caught. He
Yeah,
was always in movement, always turning, and you would hear Phil, his coach, yelling from the corner, "Move, move, circle, circle, pull the trigger, pull the trigger."
yeah.
Like,
Oh, Phil
like
is a great
don't.
coach.
Yeah, he's like, don't stay there, get out of the way, like
Mm-hmm.
move, bro, like circle. You would
Yeah.
hear him like telling him, and Benito, like you said, hung in there the whole time. Circle. He didn't make it easy for him. It wasn't an easy fight. Yes, it was a unanimous decision, but it was not an easy fight for Lisala. Like
Mm-hmm.
Lisala, I know probably wanted to really put him away, but was unable to. You know.
And honestly, as much as Moise took like
Excuse me.
the fourth and the fifth round with more like violent striking and like crazy attacks, it also felt like he had some downtime, and Benito was like I could sense like, okay, if Benito, if he can like land a couple shots here, he can take the momentum. Like Benito was really
Yeah,
like there in the until the end. So it's like it was a beautiful fight, honestly.
beautiful. It was a really great fight. Really, really great fight. And kudos to both of those fighters, and congratulations to the African Lion, Moise Lizana.
And then I interview him, and he's like so calm, and he's like, he's from Congo, and he's like, "Bonjour Maxime, oui, merci beaucoup." And I'm like, "Bro, you're
Yeah, he is like that, eh? 'Cause
whoa."
I went up to him afterwards, and I was like, "Dude, like, cool, you really lived the role, no, everything." He's like, "Thank you, okay." I was like, "Okay."
Okay. And then the co-main event, bro. Beautiful, beautiful performance from Zion Christin, our
Dude,
first A-class champion in Quebec history, and she really put on a master class on Jen Decata, who's
Dekada, yeah.
she's not to be messed with. Jen Decata, she has some
No.
Muay Thai experience, and
Yes.
she's been in there with the best of the best. And Zion Christin might have been her first A-class fight too, but she really she impressed the hell out of me yesterday.
She was so dominant. I didn't expect her to be that dominant. And like we said, Jen Dekada is not a slack. She's not a shitty fighter. She's not somebody that Justin or David would just call up and just be like, "Come on the card because we need somebody." It was come on the card because you're good, and we need a good female fighter to fight this good female fighter. You know what I mean?
Historic fight yesterday. First A-class women fight.
Yeah.
It was a title fight, and Jen came out, bro. She got lit up by Zion, but she stayed just like Benito. She stayed in the fight, even though she knew she was losing. She just kept coming round after round. But Zion, bro, her boxing, man, was like, I didn't expect her to be that good, honestly.
No, she was because I've seen Zion Christin fight many times before. I think she even fought last year at the Olympia.
Yeah,
I forget against
the girl from Quebec. I think it's Ariane.
Yes, yes, it is. It is. She has like the shaved sides, the braids, and everything like that. She's a cool fighter, and I think she even fought at the last Silvertooth as well, and she had won. Not the last Silvertooth. The one before summer.
2 Silvertooths ago.
2 Silvertooths ago. Thank you very much. So, Ariane Gauthier, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe her name. So, and she's a good fighter too. But getting back to Zion Christin, she won last year at the Olympia, and this she came out like an all-star this fight. Like she's like, "Oh yeah, first female belt, I'm taking it out." She's like she didn't come to play around. She was like so intense, voluminous, and like beautiful. Like what I saw when I said, I think I saw her hitting the pads and stuff like that, and it was like bam, 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 and just loud and fast and long shots. Like she did the exact same thing. It was like, it's like, when you see the UFC fighters practicing like a specific shot before the fight, it was like Zion practice. Sorry, French practice. She oh, what happened there?
You're hanging out with me too much, bro.
Yeah, I'm starting to rub off. It's starting to rub off on me a bit. You know what I mean? But it's like she like padded her whole fight. You know what I mean? Prior.
Yeah, you're right. It showed that she took that serious, and I think it was a short notice on both sides, but it kind of showed more on Jen Decada's side, and she's coming from Ontario. She had like 3 weeks to work out. Like I think we can like I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch, honestly, like down the road.
At all.
If
With
they want to do
training camp,
Yeah, exactly. If they want to do the rematch for the belt, I wouldn't be mad at that, and I think Jen would be down with that. Same with Zion, bro. She really showed out. Her boxing was crisp.
Yeah. And I think Jen had great leg kicks, good, like a strong bam, a good solid, like keep away from me jab, you know what I mean? But I like with a proper training camp, like I would love to see her come back and fight again. I think she deserves it as well. You know what I mean? Like as a short notice fight, to come back and kick, then you know what? Come back, take your time, and give us a revamped version of yourself. You know what I mean? That we can see what you really can do, because there is a difference between training for 3 weeks and training for a month or a month and a half or 2 months. You know what I mean? Like that extra week always adds, you know what I mean, more tools, more things that you can use in a fight, right? So her coming on short notice is like, thank you very much, great performance, awesome to have you, but I want to see like a full fight camp, Jen.
100%. And
Yeah.
the thing with the Ontario fighters, they're used to fight Muay Thai, so they can clinch, and like it's a bit different when you go and you get into K1 and you're not allowed to clinch. Sometimes I don't have the English word, but they rely on their clinching game when it's not going too well. When you're facing Zion Christin, who has amazing boxing,
Mm-hmm.
we saw a couple of times that Jen was getting into the clinch, but it's different from Muay Thai. So
Yeah.
if she can get the work to really work on her K1, I think we can see another fight. But I'm taking nothing away from Zion Christin.
No, at
Again,
all.
she
At
really
all.
impressed me from the first belt to the last belt. She was on top the 5 rounds, and she deserved that belt, man.
Yeah, she didn't come the fuck around. She literally, like, from start to finish, I went, like, like right off the bat, the way she came out and she was like, I'm here. Like,
Yeah.
she's, and she like
Mhm.
jumped into it right off the bat. So it was Zayn's night, man. We can't take away anything from her. Yes, Jen did come in on short notice, but you know what I mean? That girl was ready to bang. That girl's ready to bang.
Yeah.
She came in heavy handed, fast, and like nice long combos. Like, you saw everything. Like, when she was throwing it, it was long, long. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, like, like
Mhm.
just trying to rush the punches out. It was very like fluid technique. You saw everything like as it should be seen. You know what I mean? Type of
Yeah.
thing. Like, very clean, very
She
clean.
lived up to the magnitude of the fight, that it was the first A-class women's bout,
Yeah.
and she's the new champ, Zion Christin. So maybe they're gonna bring another girl to face her. Maybe it's gonna be a rematch, but I'm looking forward to see Zion defend his belt at the next EFL.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Then, bro, finally, talk to me about that main event. What did you think of your man Jared?
Oh
The
man, I loved both fighters. First of all, Calvin Dolson is a gangster. Loved seeing him fight. Really entertaining to see. Both of the guys, same age. I think they have similar records. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't really check the records.
I think Calvin is 6'4".
Okay,
Now he's 6'5",
he's five.
and
Okay,
Jared was 11-2, and now he's 12-2. So Jared had a little
more
more
wins.
experience than Calvin,
Yeah, but
and he's
Jared's
been
been.
fighting for 10 years at
I
Angry
think
Monkey.
Jared's like, I think he's 23. He's been with him since he's like 14 or 15. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe even 16.
Calvin started his kickboxing journey 3 years ago,
So see, there you go.
and you could see the difference in the technique. Like Jared's like so good, so technical, and Calvin was more like of a brawler yesterday, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it worked for a good matchup, honestly.
yeah. Well, you know what, Jared, it really is like, he's fucking sharp is the word to call it, because he's literally like you turn him this way and and the arms go, like, he's perfectly squared up. He's tall when he kicks, like, you know what I mean. He has perfect form. I know there was, some knees or whatever that got through, but
Yeah.
they were not
Oh
intentional.
no, totally
It
not.
wasn't like he like grabbed his head and bap, you know what I mean? Because for those of you listening who are not from Quebec, who don't know the rule set here, the K1 rules here stipulates that there's no knees to the head in the A class. It's just to protect the fighters. This is amateur. It's not professional. So it's in place to protect the fighters, basically, right? Because knees to head, you know, you guys want that CTE Ben Askren, but like, it's amateur. Nobody should go out like that,
No, no, no.
and so I understand, even though Ontario rules usually have, I believe they have knees to the head, and like you said before, they rely on the clinch. I think the kickboxing or Muay Thai tournaments or stuff like that are amateur, they have a timed clinch. When I did a show for Fight for Youth in Ottawa, and it was the WAKO, the World Association of Kickboxing Organization, very long name. Their rule set is a timed clinch. So you can knee as much as you want. I don't think there's any elbows or fists in the clinch, but you can knee as much as you want for like 4 seconds. You know what I mean? And that's how they work it there. You know what I mean? With knees to the head. Whereas here it's more like K1 kickboxing rules, where it's like knee in, knee and get out. You know what I mean? Type of thing. So so those knees were not really intentional. They didn't do anything really to affect his win, but I was talking to one of the judges. I'm not going to say which one, and he was telling me that he had it Jared at the first two, then Calvin in the third, with a point deduction for Jared. Then the fourth was Jared, but point deduction made it a draw. So made it a loss, I believe. No. Or it was a draw. It was a draw round. Sorry. It was a draw round, the fourth round. But because of the point deduction, it made it for Calvin. So now it was 2-2 going into the final. So whoever won the final round won the fight. And
Yeah.
that's how it went down. And it was honestly, it was amazing. Like heavy shots from both guys. Like at one point, I think Calvin got wobbled, and
Mm-hmm.
the whole crowd was like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Listen, Calvin's from out of town, and the crowd for him,
Mm-hmm.
they were almost as loud as Jared's crowd. And Jared's a hometown kid, you know, and
Yeah.
you heard them, Calvin, Calvin, Calvin. And even I was like, oh, Calvin, Calvin. I was like, wait a second. I have to be impartial, you know what I mean? Like, because it was just so entertaining and they were very back and forth. Yes, Jared is more straight up, like strong and technical, but like, you don't leave your house to go fight somebody to get your ass whooped. You know, you come
Mm-hmm.
to fight, and Calvin came to fight, and that's what the main event was. His coaches were great. I heard them giving him like good sound advice in the corner. And yeah, man, it was just one of the most entertaining fights of the night as well. I think
Yeah.
my three or Matson, the heavyweights, and this fight. You know what I mean?
100%.
For,
You
for
still hear me, dog?
yes, I do. Yes,
Okay, because I thought my mic died on me, but I'm glad it did not.
do.
Uh,
No,
yeah, bro, it was an amazing fight, and Calvin was the. I think Calvin was a little undersized too. Like
oh, really?
from what I saw, I felt like Jared was really like bigger than him and stronger than him, and used his range so well. And Calvin was a little bit smaller, and he couldn't touch Jared. So
Yeah.
he had to brawl, which was fun for us, but
Mhm.
not a fun fight for Calvin. Obviously, it's not fun fighting Jared. You can,
No, dude. It's not fun sparring him either. There's sometimes I
yeah,
would spar with him, and I'm like, "Oh, I got one," and then the second I get one, I'm just like, I blink, and next thing I know, I'm like, "That wasn't a blink. I just got hit like 6 times." You know what I mean?
but yeah, that first knee that Jared landed to the face that stopped the action. Unfortunately, I think if Jared would have been a little bit more patient, I think he could have finished the fight there because he landed the left hook that really
Rock.
hurt Dawson. It really wobbled Dawson, and Jared jumped on him and threw the knee. And I hate that. I hate that fucking rule, bro. And I understand. Obviously, we don't need knees to the head, but shit, it
Yeah.
still happened, bro. Like,
It should, like, at least if you're gonna do A class, let the A class have the knees. Put a freaking knee guards on them. Worst comes to worst, but like
huh?
knees
I don't
should be
hate
there.
that. I
You
don't hate
know,
that.
let them have the knees to the head, and you make it optional with the guys. You want knees to the head? Yes, just wear the freaking protectors. Not
And
a big deal, you know.
maybe it's not a question of knees should be legal or not, but it's just like the guy is wobbled, and Jared doesn't necessarily want to hit him to the head, but he clinches him. But Calvin is not like he
It was,
doesn't
yeah,
have all his sense,
yeah.
so he just drops, and then he comes up, and it's like it shouldn't. I don't know what they should do, but that I don't think that's the way to do it. But hey, they're doing what they can.
Of
But it
course.
just sucks. But then it might be on Jared to like, okay, he's hurt right now. I clipped him with my left hook. So instead of jumping, because it's dangerous, and it's like there's the line of like, if I hit him a knee to the face,
It's over.
Calvin had like a minute, so he went back to it, and he's like,
You
but
get back.
if Jared like kept boxing instead, I think he could have finished that fight on that sequence.
I
But
believe.
he did not, and Calvin like stayed in the fight and ate two or three more knees.
Yeah.
Uh, and some of them were because when it depends where the referee is, but let's say the referee is behind Jared, so you see Jared knees Calvin, but he doesn't really see where the knee lands.
And yeah.
So he thinks it's a knee to the face,
Yeah.
but in reality, the knee comes to the body, and maybe the thighs come to the face. But at what point is that illegal?
Yeah, exactly. And see that's the thing too, because it's kickboxing. It's not just boxing. You know what I mean? Like, but boxing is part of kickboxing, and like a lot of like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
all that shit. The even just
But
going like that. Like it's not always your fault. And Jared, he like what they say in Muay Thai and in striking, you pull your power from the ground on your when you come up straight for that nice kick, like you're pulling that, you're launching that power from the ground. When you're turning on your cross, you're turning, like that foot is pushing from the ground to put that hip in and drive that fist right through. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of thing. Like Jared is very like up with his
mm-hmm.
strikes, like they come
Yeah,
from the ground, that he brings that earthly freaking Irish power up
yeah, and
towards,
nobody learns to throw a knee like on the linear. It's like if you throw a knee, it's like that. It's not like
always. Yeah. It's not, you don't bring your hips up to go like that.
yeah,
When you bring
exactly.
it's like a launching pad to get that knife up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That like
But
that,
one thing I loved about Jared, I love a lot of things about Jared. He's a nice gentleman and such a good fighter. But
Mhm.
it is he still kept throwing knees to the body even after like losing so many points. And
Yeah,
I
he's like,
think
this is my
that's
fucking game, bro.
yeah,
You
that's
know?
one thing who won him the fifth round, bro. It's those knees to the body, and he didn't stop throwing knees to the body because
Yeah.
he knew Calvin was hurt, and he's like, shit. Uh, if like I don't want to say I'm gonna die on my ship, but it's like live by the sword, die by the sword.
Exactly.
If I'm gonna lose that way, at least I'll keep. It's my like you say, it's his game, and it's like, and that's the way he won the fight, bro. Man, unfortunately, it was too close. It was a good fight, but Jared clearly won that fight. But
Yeah.
because of the points deduction, I thought it might have been a draw. I didn't think it would have been Calvin's win, but I thought it might have been a draw.
Hmm.
But I'm glad that Jared won, and he deserved that belt. That 125 belt fits
Yeah.
him very well, and he's one of the best we have in Quebec, honestly.
Oh, he's so smooth. And you know what? Like, I know he took some time off to finish his schooling. I think he was coming off of an injury and stuff like that as well, a hip injury. And like, it was, it's time. It was time. It was Jared's time. You know what I mean? To show up. And the worst part is too, like him and Rabishan Ravichandran from Angry Monkey as well. They like basically came up the same age, same time together. They're like, different weights, but same kind of level and everything like that. And like once it's Wally, it's Jared, and it's Rab, it's like that's like the A team at Angry Monkey. You know what I mean? You have the three separate weight classes, and that was like the A team. We're just missing Rab. So it was like people have been waiting for Jared's return. Like competitors who know him, Justin, especially Justin, the whole gym community, because everybody loves Jared. Jared is the sweetest human being. If you talk to him outside of here, you wouldn't even know he's a fighter. Just like he's a good old, he's one of the Lord's boys. He's such a good dude, blue collar. He's just a good dude. He's nice to talk to. He doesn't have malice in his heart. He's never like fuck that guy or fuck that guy. I tell him fuck that guy and fuck that guy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I tell him that shit. He's just like, yeah, because he's so nice. He's not gonna say it too.
Hmm.
But Jared's a great person, and like he did deserve that win. He did deserve that win, and his fighting style is such a far cry from his personality because he's such a nice, calm dude. But okay, no, he's nice and calm in the ring, but like he's fucking vicious. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
I
he's
think
good.
he really has that almost like Dutch style of kickboxing, Dutch Muay Thai to him. You know what I mean? Those straight, heavy, boom, rip apart,
Yeah.
like Raymond Decker is very aggressive with the leg kicks. Like the way he rips
Yeah.
up the kicks is not like it's not like he's just throwing up the leg kicks. Like he's literally, give me that, leg. You know what I mean? Like so,
Yeah.
he has very strong technique, and I agree with you. I don't. Calvin did amazing. He had a lot of pressure. He,
A lot of art.
he would put Jared in against the ropes more than once, like
Hmm.
multiple times that night. He would pressure up Jared all the way against the ropes, but Jared would fight his way around or through it or anything
Hmm.
like that. But I do agree with your statement. I don't think it was enough to really be like, yo, he won that fight. But with
Hmm.
the point deductions, it gave him like
Hope.
hope Exactly. Hope. And you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, man, like those are the rule sets that we have to
Mm-hmm.
abide by for the
Mm-hmm.
time being. You know what I mean? Until things are more legalized here in Quebec and Montreal, it's what we got, you know?
And shout out, I thought about Nick Leboeuf too because Nick Leboeuf fought Jared Allen in the first fight, and it was a crazy fight. And
Insane.
I'm like, yo, Nick really went like toe to toe with Jared. The thing is, Nick is a little bit heavier than Jared, so that's gonna play a part. But I was like, funny enough, I was impressed by Nick Leboeuf just by seeing how good Jared Allen was
Hmm.
yesterday. And we saw Nick Leboeuf face to face with Dylan Stone, a
Yes.
matchup that was supposed to happen yesterday. It's gonna happen next EFL probably.
Yeah.
And
April
even
4th.
Brendan Paukovic,
Yeah.
who we saw at FTC a while ago, he was in the corner of Mac Gao from Winnipeg.
Okay.
He's gonna fight. Oh, actually, he's gonna fight Burkic. I believe they made a
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
They
For the fight
That's gonna be a good fight too, man.
for the 156 belt. Yes.
Because I believe this guy at FTC he fought. I believe he fought Omar Karaki actually, Brendan Paukovic
Oh, did he really? Yeah.
at FTC. He lost against Omar.
And that was for the belt the first time, right?
I believe, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
but now he's gonna have the chance to get the EFL belt against Burkic, and that's gonna be a good fight too,
Amazing.
man.
I can't wait to see that. And also, a shout out to Nick LaBeouf. He looks good with blonde hair. Like, good for
Yeah,
him.
yeah, it's
You know what
funny
I
how
mean?
he kept it. He's like, oh, that's just for the fight.
Yeah, he likes it. He likes it a little bit
Yeah.
more than he's letting on.
No, it was good to see the boys yesterday. John
Yes.
DiBella, Omar Karaki. I saw a couple of other guys from the kickboxing scene. They wanted to be there to see the show because it was one hell of a show yesterday.
Well, it was great. I like Conrad Plo was there, you know, TriStar's own
Yeah,
Herbie Wine from Hard Knocks Gym, and Angelo DiBella, John
yeah.
DiBella's father and coach. By the way, they like Angelo looks like what John will look like in the future. Like
Oh
literally,
yeah.
they look so like, you know, you took Angelo's face, you just copy and pasted it smaller, and you know, you got John. They look so much
Yeah.
alike. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to say hi to John yesterday,
Hmm.
but yeah, man, it was great. A lot of people came out, man, and
Hmm.
you know, people were really, really, really nice. And even shout out to Taylor Weep from MMA Journal Canada. I think I
Hmm.
shouted him out before, but what a swell guy. I had such a great time talking to him. I had a
Hmm.
little interview with him. And even him, he flew out all the way from, I believe it was Winnipeg,
Yep.
to be here. And like, you know, he's doing it like you, Max. You know, he's just covering everything he can. It's really
Yeah.
great. It's really great, you know?
Yeah,
So,
no, I was quite impressed. We really like have two different like approach of the game. It's more like he's very like professional, and I'm like, I like I feel almost like
you know?
the imposter syndrome. Like when I'm with him, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not like this dude. But like I think we completed each other well, like because
Yes. You
I was doing the French interviews, he was doing the English ones, and it's good that we were not the same because it's boring if you have two of the same people. Like we were not, and he's a very cool guy, and I'm gonna
Yes.
like I learned stuff from this guy yesterday for sure, man. So it was good to see him.
Yeah, it was fantastic talking to him. He's very knowledgeable. And like, dude, he told me like it's just like you. Like he started during COVID. Like he gave me his whole spiel of how he started. And I
Yeah.
was like, yo, dog, like I'm like good for you. Like you too, Max. Like I'm like when I hear you guys like what you've built for yourself, you know what I mean? And you're the community that you've kind of started here, you're building a scene, you know, and he's done something similar. And like it's very like it makes me happy. Like I love seeing people chase, you know, goals, dreams, things like that. So, you know, like both of you guys, kudos to you guys, man, for starting this whole environment you got us in now. You know what
Thanks, boss man, and thanks to Empire Fight League and Justin because it wouldn't have been possible without them and him
Yes.
yesterday.
Yeah.
He's doing all the worlds, the coaching, the promoter, the
Yeah.
like making sure everything is there. It's one hell of a job that he has, Justin.
Dude.
So we salute him for that.
Yeah.
EFL 2 man was one for the books, and I can't wait for Empire Fight League 3 in April, I believe,
Yes. April
of
4th is what he said.
2025.
Yeah. April
We'll
4th.
be there for sure. We'll take a couple weeks off because I'm in Thailand. So just 2 weeks
Yes.
off of the
Okay.
Fight 14 podcast. And then we'll be right back to talk about the next Silver Tooth, the final at l'Olympia. So we'll have good stuff to talk about. But that was an hour and a half of Empire Fight League 2.
And
So
that's
enjoy
great.
that, people. And thanks, my G, man. You did an amazing job, you two, yesterday as well.
Thank you, brother. I'm looking at all through your clips on Instagram and stuff. You did amazing as always, Max. Enjoy your time in Thailand, my friend. Watch out, what kind of massage parlors you go into.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Will do.
just have yourself a great time, brother.
Yes. All right. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right.